From Learfield IMG College, this is Plant the Flag, the official UMass Athletics podcast. Now, here is your host, the voice of UMass Athletics, Jay Burnham.
And welcome into another episode of the Plant the Flag podcast, coming at you from the Podcast Emporium inside the Mullen Center from Amherst, Massachusetts. Special guest joining us from the field hockey program, and they have been on a run since she has been here. Myrte van Herwijnen joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Excited to be here, yeah.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Season has been underway for a while now. I think it's pretty good. We just are over a little bit of halfway over our season. Feeling pretty good. I'm very excited what's next. We have some pretty good games coming up. Obviously, the MAC tournament is also approaching, and we're looking forward to NCAAs, so we're very excited.
I mean, let's go back. You're from the Netherlands.
Yes, I'm from the Netherlands.
What's the name of the town?
I'm from around Amsterdam. Okay. So I always say I'm from Amsterdam to not make it too complicated. So
when you told your family, hey, I'm going to play in Massachusetts, did they have any idea where that was in the United States?
No, they did not. The recruiting process was really interesting because I didn't really know as much about college sports at all. I didn't even know that the opportunity to play here was something that I could do. So when I was playing back home, a company reached out to me saying that I could play in America and go to school here, which sounded like a great opportunity. So yeah, I started talking to a bunch of schools, and my parents were fully into the process. And then I settled on UMass in Amherst, Massachusetts, and my parents had no idea where that was. What
were some of the other options that you were thinking of?
I was also speaking to Louisville, Monmouth, Northeastern, like a bunch of different schools. But when I said Louisville, my parents thought that was way too far away into the country. And Amherst is obviously close to Boston, easy flights, 6-hour time difference is a lot, but not as much as it can be if you're further in America. So they were pretty happy, and the program really spoke to me. I loved speaking to Barb, my head coach. Like, she definitely convinced me to come here, and everything around Amherst and the school, and obviously Eisenberg with the business program. Like, all of it really came together for me.
Barb's the best, huh?
Barb is the best.
Weinberg, the head coach.
Yeah.
She, you helped her get her 100th career victory earlier this season. Did you guys give her a congratulations cake or anything? Did she address the team after it?
Yeah, we I know that her kids ran onto the field with balloons, and we got the shirt saying like 100 win, and we all signed it. But so deserved. I mean, Barb is probably the best coach I've ever had. I feel very connected to her. I think I can relate to her on like a hockey level, so we do a lot of individual sessions. She was a goalie herself for the U.S. national team, so we're able to talk a lot about goalie stuff. But she's also, we call her as a joke, Mother Barb, because I go to Barb about anything personal. She's just a very personable person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we all just feel very comfortable, and that's something that's really unique for me, because I've always had good coaches when it comes to field hockey, but I've never had a coach where I felt so personally connected with. So that's definitely something that's really unique and special for me.
So when you're growing up in Holland, and you're playing as a kid, are you always a goalie?
I used to start out as a field player, and I was convinced that was it for me. And then I had to wear the mouth guard that everyone wears, and I was like, I don't really like wearing a mouth guard. So I switched to being a goalie when I was 10. And
wait, so you don't wear a mouth guard?
No, we wear a helmet, so I don't have to wear. It sounds really silly looking back on it, but for me as a 10-year-old, that was a very valid reason to not want to be a field player. So I started as a goalie, and I made this like diving save, and apparently like a scout was watching, and they were like, oh, you're pretty good. And I was like, maybe I am really good. Like, maybe this could be the new thing. And then I just decided to become a goalie, and it kind of went from there.
But you didn't, I guess, think, hey, this is a route for me to be able to go to school for free. I mean, so there really wasn't a thought at that time to say, hey, I can go do this at the next level.
No, and I think that is something that's so different from America. And college sports obviously are a very big thing here, and kids just play their whole life and train their whole life to be able to be a D1 athlete. That's really the goal that they worked for, but I never even knew that was an option until like 6 months before I decided to come to America. So I always worked for other things. I always worked for, making the first ladies team at my club, playing for the national team. Like, those were my goals, what I wanted to achieve, but I never even thought this was an option until right before I got here, which is really interesting.
And so you get here as a true freshman. Yeah. What are is there a culture shock that goes with just coming over to America in general?
Yes, I think there was definitely a very big culture shock for me, and in all aspects. So I'm speaking about like, back home in the Netherlands, we go to college, but we don't have college sports. So you only play club. So being able to represent a school and then also, attend that school academically was something that was completely new for me, which sounds probably really weird, but for me it was completely new. But also, little things like the food, big adjustment, how big everything is. I used to ride my bike back home. You can't ride your bike anywhere here. Like, you need a car.
You're gonna make me sad because I'm all pro public transit and being able to do those things. But the way we've built this country, you can't even. I mean, as nice as it is in Western Mass, probably better than most places in the country in terms of public transit and riding bikes. Yeah. But it's still hard to get around, right? Yeah,
it definitely is, and those things really came on to me, and I was like, oh, like, how am I going to do this, like, coming into a new country? And in terms of field hockey, I had a big struggle with communication, not just because of the language barrier, because I'm a native Dutch speaker and I had to kind of learn how to speak English being here, but also Dutch people are very honest. I'm a very honest person. I'm very blunt, sometimes it's not the smartest thing.
So the Ted Lasso trope is true. Did you ever see? Okay.
Yes.
Right, very much.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yes, that is very true. So I worked a lot with Barb, but also with all of the other staff around our team to really work on my communication, especially me wanting to be a leader for this team ever since I came in. I just realized that, people respond differently to different sorts of communication. It's important to understand what works for some people doesn't work for other people. So that was definitely like the biggest area of growth for me. I think I've spoke about it with Barb multiple times before, but my biggest focus wasn't just playing, it was really like communicating and maybe sometimes not being as honest as I was, but just, we call it a compliment sandwich. So like stuff it in a compliment sandwich and be a little bit...
Smooth it out
a little bit. Yeah.
It's funny because, I spent a semester studying in Japan, and it was an international school. So we had kids from all over the world, and they would argue with each other in 5 different languages. They would just know how to instinctively, go from French to Dutch to Swedish to Norwegian. And I was sitting there like the guy, like the dumb American, right? How many languages do you speak?
I speak, Dutch and English fluently, and I also got taught German, Spanish, and French in high school. I wouldn't say I speak it fluently, but I could like find my way if I were to go.
You could poke your head into Spain if you needed to.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I learn more and more because on our team we have 9 different nationalities right now, and we have a bunch of different languages. So I have my 2 German defenders in the back, so I'm starting to pick up on some German there more. I have, my fellow goalie is from Argentina, she speaks Spanish, so I'm picking up on some Spanish stuff sometimes. So we're also learning new languages within the team.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating that you're saying, okay, when you first got here, it's about the field hockey, right? Mm-hmm. But how do I learn to communicate things appropriately? I get to be a leader on the team. And did you start day one when you got here? Your first game?
Yes, I did.
So you've been starting the entire way. Yeah. Did you recognize it or think that you would have instant success playing college sports?
No, I did not. American hockey is also just very different compared to, the
How
hockey.
So?
It's a little bit of like nitty-gritty tactical stuff. So just, communication, organization is a big part of that, of course, and, new language setting up, but also the systems that we play. We play certain systems where we press if the other team takes the ball and like how we outlet when we have the ball. And those were like minor adjustments. Also, it sounds really, but every country has their own playing style. If I, for example, still in college play against girls from Argentina, they have a very distinct playing style. So like I would say that Dutch field hockey has a very distinct playing style as well, and kind of adapting to a team where we don't just play more like American style field hockey, but also, a little bit of Argentinian, a little bit of German, like a little bit of Scottish, what I mean? Like everything kind of melts together.
You get this whole melting pot now on the team. And so I think that first year you end up being Atlantic 10 first team goalie right out of the gates. What did your folks and friends say back home, and were they able to follow along in terms of watching the games?
Well, my parents are loyal watchers. They watch all my games, which is great. I think that a lot of my friends don't really understand what's going on, to be honest. What is also very American is like all the awards. Like that's something that we don't really see, you know what I mean? Like we don't have a first team all conference. We don't have all Americans. We don't have all that stuff. So I would be home and be like, guys, like I became an all American. They're like, great, like, what's that? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
So, but my parents that have started to get used to it now and like know more and more, like they definitely responded, like, they were like, that's great, but like, what's next? And I was like, there's a lot more next.
What is next for you? I mean, you're in your final season.
Yes.
Yeah, as a senior, you guys have had tremendous success.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about kind of where you guys are on the field and what you had last year, but just as you go through Eisenberg, as you go through UMass, I mean, what has this school prepared you for?
I think for a lot. I think becoming a D1 athlete is such a valuable experience that you can't really describe to people that might have not gone through this, like, you know, tragedy that we go through. I just think that the skills that we pick up, you know, with time management, you know, planning, like communication are so valuable. Like, I think, well, this sounds a little bit cliche, but I really think I've grown as a person to when I first stepped foot in here to like when I'm going to leave. So I think that part is really important, but also academically, I think UMass is a great school. I think I speak very highly of Eisenberg. I think it's definitely a great program overall. But also for me, being able to double major was something that was really big for me as well.
And what are those majors?
So I'm a double major in HTM, which is hospitality and tourism management, and psychology. And I did the real estate track in Eisenberg as well. So I got like a certificate in real estate. That's very broad.
Wow.
I don't really know what I want to do. So I just keep it broad for now. But being able to do those things is something that I don't think I would have ever been able to do back home. So that's just really valuable. And also the people that you get to know, obviously. I mean, the team is my family. I love each and every single one of them to death. Like even the girls that have graduated, I see them as my family. Like that's just my home away from home. So.
And I mean, let's go back to last year, right? You guys go on this run in the NCAA tournament, win some big games, take down UConn on the road. You know, when you think back to that year, last year, you know, what are some of the emotions or things that you recall?
It almost makes me in a way sad to talk about it because I miss it. Like I miss our team. This year we have great girls coming in and I love our team this year, but last year's team was just something that was so special. And I think that was one of the things that Barb mentioned, that she like teared up, like when we had our ring ceremony last year spring. Our team, you know, like we came in and no one expected us to make that run. Like we were the underdogs. Like even when we were in the tournament, like, you know, like they wouldn't like put the ranking next to our name because like we're just UMass like coming into the tournament. But we just pushed through because we wanted to do it for each other. And I'm kind of getting goosebumps talking about it. But it's something that is so unique. It's like, you know, you look around and like I'm just like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes because I just care so much about these people. You know, it's a culture that has been brought up by Barb, like ever since she's been here, but like every single year, like we kept building on that. So like last year was definitely a time where it all came together. And I just remember sitting at like the Final Four banquet with our team and being like, this is just everything I would want for these girls. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so happy I can do it with them. Like I wouldn't have changed it for the world. It's definitely a core memory for me.
Final Four is just, I mean,
it was insane.
That's again, to your family back home, you're saying, I went to the Final Four.
Yeah, they came.
They did. Okay.
I
so
flew them out for the Sweet
wow.
16. I was
All
like,
right.
come on, guys, you guys have to come. They were having a great time. So, you know, I think that's when it clicked for them as well because, you know, being there in Michigan and them seeing it, they were like, this is something that's special, you know, like winning at UConn versus Harvard and like becoming regional champs. Like that moment, like those pictures are just like ingrained and like we still speak about it now. And we're like, that was just probably one of the best days of our life.
And you're trying to get back there this year.
We're trying to get back there this year.
You know, and there's so many things you've won. All-American. You were the female athlete of the year for the UMass last year at the Sammys. You guys have had so much success. You're 10-2 to start the year. You did have a loss in there against Ohio. What did that do for you? It was a 1-0 loss in the MAC.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
What did you guys get together? Like, what was the prevailing thought after that defeat?
Well, obviously, like, it's not a catastrophe. Like, our season is still, like, ahead of us. Like, 10-2 is not a bad record to have.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would have loved to be 12-0, like, preferably. But I think that losses make us stronger because it's very easy when you win a game and maybe there are some things that you need to twitch. It's very easy to look over those things because, you know, we won the game. But I think losing a game is really a way to realize, like, you know, like we're not there yet. Like there's things that we need to twitch. We need to take a hard look in the mirror. We need to, you know, watch film, talk with our lines, like all of that stuff. So I think sometimes it's good and that's like it didn't feel great in the moment. Like I was on the ground, like being like, oh, like no, but afterwards, like it does really motivate us more. You know, like we want to be better. Like we want to win those games, and we think we need to win those games, and that's great, because what do we need to do to make sure that we win those games next time?
That kind of puts you in check and say,
Yeah.
okay, what do we need to do better?
Yes, and I think that's great as well, because, you know, it would have been great to sit here and be like, oh yeah, we're 12-0. But I think the lessons that we take away from a hard loss, like against Ohio or like against UConn last weekend, like those lessons might be more valuable for us than winning all games. So I think it's going to make us stronger. I mean, last year we ended up with I think off the top of my head, it was like we had 4 losses in the whole season. It doesn't determine anything. Like we still were able to make that run. I think it's more how you respond to it than how hard you hold on to those losses.
What makes you a successful goalie?
It's hard to say about myself.
Is it toughness? Is it the way you can read how shots are coming in? I mean, what makes you, and I guess let's talk deep from the defensive side for everybody else, you know, what makes you guys so good in that regard? I
think, there's a few things to it. I think the first and most important thing is the support from coaches, because, you know, I used to say this quote that like hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. So like obviously everyone coming on the team is talented.
Hold on, let me write that down.
You're gonna write it down?
That's a good one, yeah. All right. Okay, continue.
Did I inspire you? Yeah, so hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. Obviously every single girl on this team is talented. We got admitted to a D1 program, like there's talent in there. But the thing is that you have to keep working hard. And hard work is stuff like, you know, talking with the coaches, talking with each other, like that's part of it. But I also think part of it is, you know, being honest to yourself, like taking accountability. I think one of the things that I have learned is that, you know, I feel a lot of emotions. I'm extremely perfectionistic. Like I wish I had 0 goals against, to be honest, on the whole season. But instead of feeling a lot of emotions about it, I try to separate it and just look at it like objectively, like what do I need to do to get better? I sit down with Barb, I watch the film. Barb tells me this is what you need to work on this week. I go into practice the rest of the week and I work on that. I ask Barb, like, can we do drills that like simulate the situation for me? But I also think part of it is that I am just really competitive, and I've always been. My parents know, like I used to fight with my little sister that's 10 years younger about board games because I can't lose anything. Like I'm really competitive.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 siblings, an older sister and a younger sister.
So you're in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
Fighting both ways.
Yeah, I'm fighting both. I'm the middle child. So, but I think definitely like, I think I'm just like, I'm competitive, like I'm driven, but I'm driven not just for like myself, but I'm driven for the team. Like the one thing I would want to do in my time here is give Barb that national championship. That's like all that I want. And it's not even, like I've said it before, like I would be willing to give up all my individual success if that would mean that we could win a national championship with this team, just so we can like, you know, show the country like this is what we do. Like we're UMass, you know, like we love each other, we work for each other. We have a great coaching staff. It's not just Barb. Simon and Holly, my 2 assistant coaches, are like awesome people, and they help us so much. Like I just want to give back to that because they mean so well. Like in all like that sounds like really. No, I mean it. Like
you're giving me goosebumps.
Yeah,
now.
no, I mean it. Like that's just I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that we're in the best position to get as far as we can get. So
you've got Longwood coming up, and then it's a slow week next week, right?
Yes, we're traveling to Virginia. We're taking on JMU, and then we're traveling to App State. Which are like every single game, we always look at the game that's ahead of us. So Longwood now, we have this quote that says win what's important now. So what's important now is Longwood, but looking ahead for next week, like that's going to be 2 important games for us. We're currently tied in the MAC for first place with us, JMU, Miami of Ohio, and App State. So, you know, we're playing 2 of those.
Time to go to work.
Next week, it's time to go to work. We're playing at their turfs as well. They're both really good teams, very talented, have been also in the top 20 rankings like throughout the last week. So I think the MAC for field hockey is definitely like a good conference. I mean, all 4 teams out of the MAC have been in top 20.
Yeah. So are you noticing, I guess it's still early, but like similar competition level?
Yes, I would say so. I think that what I think is like most fun for me to see is that obviously we have the big powerhouse, you know, you have ACC, like Big Ten, like all of those schools, but slowly but surely like other conferences are starting to creep in as well, especially for field hockey. So like, you know, the Ivies are doing really good this year as well in field hockey. The MAC is doing really well, and I think that's kind of like a fun balance. I mean, last year in the Final Four, there were 2 A10 teams, us St. Joe's, and there was an ACC team and like a Big Ten team. Like, who would have thought that? Like, everyone would have been like, oh, it should be all ACC, all Big Ten. Yeah. But it was us. Like, we were there. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And so I guess I think about it now. You're in such a unique time. I guess every time and period is unique in its own way, but you're in a different country. You're in a world where being a college athlete is in upheaval at this point, right?
Yeah.
The rules are changing, everything's changing, the conference has changed for you.
Yeah.
You know, what's it like to be a student athlete these days?
There is definitely a lot of changing dynamics, especially recently. I'm part of SAC, so the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, so we definitely got some news about, the house settlement, like NIL. I can just say that fortunately that hasn't affected our sport as much. Like, I know it's a very big topic, especially there's a lot of changing dynamics in like basketball, hockey, football. It's not there yet for field hockey.
Do you think it will get there?
It's kind of hard to say because it's always like a money question. Like, it's always like, money in there. I think that there's pros and cons to it. I do think that, to keep it fair and like maybe preserve what D1 field hockey is, it might not be the best thing if we're really going to be throwing a lot of NIL money. But I mean, I'm happy that it's not affecting us as much right now. So that people pick UMass, not because UMass is going to promise you a lot of NIL, but because you want to be at UMass, because you want to be part of the amazing team culture that we have. You want to be part of like, what Barb and other coaches are setting up. So I think that's more important to me.
Have you, how's that new field surface?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
We got a new locker room as well.
Yeah.
It was great. We used to be in Boyden, the other athletic building. We used to be in the basement, and we were waiting on the new locker room. We heard word of it, and they were working on it. And the guys that were working on it when we went to the Final Four took a picture and were like, "We're working extra hard for you guys because you guys made it." But we moved in like a few months ago, and it's like I'm just stuff like that. Like, we don't see that back home. Like, everything, like, a locker room, all the kit, like the sweaters, like everything. Like, I cannot explain like how grateful I am and how unique this experience is, because we go on away trips and like we get food catered. We stay at hotels, we fly out to planes, you know what I mean? Like, if I need my help, my like Sam, our athletic trainer, will be there. Like, all of that stuff. Like, they're so attentive to us as athletes. And field hockey is very big back home and it's very professional, but this is just like another inch. That's really like that college experience. But I'm just super grateful for all of that.
I guess soccer, football would be the number one sport in your country?
Field hockey is.
Field hockey is number one?
We won on the last Olympics in Paris. We won gold for both men's and women's field hockey.
You think that's the most like visible sport?
I would say soccer as well. I think that field hockey, like, we are like...
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. Like, we're good. We have more success overall in field hockey than we have in soccer. But those are definitely our two biggest sports. But like sports like lacrosse or ice hockey or football, we don't like. I had never seen a lacrosse game, a hockey game, or a football game until I came here.
Have you come to any of the hockey games?
Yes, I have. I love it. I mean, Mullins is great. I think it's so cool. Like, everything from like the start to like when the guys come on the ice to like the end, and you got the big screens going and the fan section is going crazy. And I'm like, guys, come to our games. Like the band, I'm like, the band, come here. Like, it's okay.
Get over here.
Get over here. But no, it's definitely great. I love the atmosphere, and it's great.
What's the food items that you miss the most
from back home?
Yeah.
So we have this traditional dish called boerenkool. I cannot begin to describe what it is, but I miss that. So for anyone that knows it, like, that's what I miss. But overall, I miss the bread. Yeah. I do not like American bread. It's too sweet. I love my Dutch bread. I miss that a lot. I am a huge soup lover, which is really weird. So I miss Dutch soup.
Okay.
I probably sound so weird right now.
No, I'm in.
Yeah.
I like bread, soup. Sell it to me.
I think overall, like, it's also just like the difference in price is a lot. So like, I can get like a really nice steak back home for so much cheaper than when it's here. And obviously, like, I'm living on my own right now in a house.
You live through inflation and tariffs now.
All of that stuff. So I definitely miss that. But, above the food, like, I just miss my family. Like, I just miss eating dinner with my family. It's definitely sometimes hard being away from them. I'm really close with, my parents, especially my dad. Like, my dad is probably my best friend. I tell him everything. I spill the tea, I call him up, and I'm like, Mark, like, listen up, like, what's going on?
Is that how you talk to him?
Yeah, my dad is just, my parents, I think, are also the main reason why I'm able to be here, which, I talk a lot about gratitude, but like, I am really grateful because my dad, when I was like starting to become a goalie. Like my dad used to drive up and down like 5-6 days a week. Like okay, this sounds like a lot. This is a lot in the Netherlands. I know 30-minute drive is not that much here, but for us it's a lot. So 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. My dad would come to all my games. He would talk me through. He would help me find like goalie trainers. So if I hadn't had that support system, I probably wouldn't have been able to get to where I am right now. Yeah. So that support system started back home, and then it kept on growing here with like the coaching staff and the team. So I think.
Did your siblings play too?
My older sister played for a little bit, but wasn't really her thing. My younger sister is actually a goalie. She's younger. She's 13 right now. Okay. So I said to Barb, like maybe 2032 recruit somewhere coming to UMass. Yeah. No, she's doing great. I mean, I think she's really good. I think that she might even be a little bit better than I was at that age.
She's got a great older sister to look up to then.
Yeah, I love to work with her. It reminds me of when I was younger and like playing. But yeah, she's very talented. So I have high hopes. If that's what she chooses to do, obviously if she doesn't, then that's cool as well. But if she wants to, we have some links now to here, so maybe she can, come over as well.
We'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
Myrte, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Did you have fun? It's been a good time.
It's been such a good time.
It sounds like
I could sit there for hours.
That's
great. I love chatting. Like this is great.
We'll have to bring you back before you go. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck this
Thank
weekend.
you.
Good luck the rest of the way. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.